Breaking: Jungkook leaves Korea abruptly. Jin BTS in panic over Calvin Klein US event. Health concerns intensify only 14 minutes ago. A seismic shift rattled the K-pop world. Jungkook, the youngest member of BTS and global ambassador for Calvin Klein, has reportedly departed South Korea under circumstances that have left fans, media, and even fellow BTS members in a state of stunned confusion. Why did he leave so suddenly? What is the real reason behind this abrupt exit? And most critically, why now, when his health remains visibly compromised? The timing is not just suspicious, it's alarming. Jungkook's departure coincides precisely with the final preparations for Calvin Klein's high-profile event in the United States, an occasion that has been marketed as a pivotal moment for the brand's global strategy. But behind the glamour and commercial anticipation, troubling questions are surfacing. Was Jungkook pressured to attend despite not having fully recovered? Is this a calculated move by external forces, or a personal decision made under duress? And why was Jin, the eldest BTS member, reportedly seen in a state of visible panic just moments after the news broke? The situation is rapidly evolving, and the lack of transparency is only fueling speculation. Eyewitnesses at Incheon International Airport described a scene that was anything but routine. Jungkook, dressed in muted tones and flanked by a minimal security detail, moved swiftly through the terminal without engaging with fans or media. His expression was unreadable, but his physical demeanor, slightly hunched, noticeably fatigued, did not resemble that of a man prepared to headline a major fashion event. What exactly is happening behind the scenes? Sources close to the BTS circle have hinted at internal tensions. Jin, who has maintained a relatively low profile since his military discharge, was reportedly caught off guard by Jungkook's sudden departure. His reaction, described by insiders as urgent and distressed, raises further questions. Was Jin unaware of Jungkook's travel plans? Or was he reacting to something deeper? Perhaps a concern for Jungkook's physical condition, which has been the subject of quiet murmurs in recent weeks. Jungkook's health has been a sensitive topic. While official updates have remained vague, fans have noted his reduced public appearances, subdued energy during recent engagements, and even moments of visible discomfort. These observations have sparked concern, but until now, there has been no confirmation of any serious medical issue. That makes today's development all the more unsettling. If Jungkook is indeed unwell, why is he being sent, or sending himself, into the high-pressure spotlight of an international brand event? The Calvin Klein US showcase is not just another promotional gig. It's a strategic move, a global spectacle designed to cement Jungkook's status as a fashion icon beyond the realm of K-pop. But the stakes are high, and the demands, both physical and emotional, are immense. For someone reportedly not in peak condition, the decision to participate borders on reckless. Who is orchestrating this? Is Jungkook being pushed beyond his limits for commercial gain? Or is he trying to fulfill a personal obligation, regardless of the cost? The silence from management is deafening. No statements have been issued, no clarifications offered. This vacuum of information is breeding anxiety and speculation. Fans are left to piece together fragments: airport sightings, social media activity, and insider whispers, all pointing to a narrative that feels increasingly unstable. The absence of transparency is not just frustrating, it's dangerous. Jungkook is not just a celebrity, he's a human being, and the public deserves to know whether his well-being is being safeguarded. Jin's reaction adds another layer of complexity. Known for his protective nature, especially toward Jungkook, his visible distress suggests that this is not a routine departure. Reports indicate that Jin attempted to contact key personnel shortly after the news broke and was seen leaving a private meeting in Seoul with a tense expression. What was discussed in that meeting? Was Jin trying to intervene? And if so, was he too late? The implications of this event extend beyond fandom. They touch on broader issues of artist welfare, corporate responsibility, and the ethics of celebrity culture. If Jungkook is being compelled to perform while unwell, it raises serious questions about the mechanisms that govern the entertainment industry. Who decides when an artist is fit to work? And what happens when those decisions conflict with the artist's health? There is also the question of timing.
Why now?
Why just days before the Calvin Klein event? Was this planned in advance? Or was it a last-minute decision triggered by unseen pressures? The precision of the departure, down to the minute, suggests a level of orchestration that contradicts the narrative of spontaneity. Someone knew this was going to happen. The question is, who? Fans are mobilizing. Social media is ablaze with theories, demands for answers, and messages of support. The hashtag-free storm of concern is growing louder by the hour. But without concrete information, the anxiety continues to mount. Jungkook's well-being is not a matter of speculation, it's a matter of urgency. And the longer the silence persists, the more damaging the consequences may be. This is not the first time a BTS member has faced public scrutiny under ambiguous circumstances. But the combination of health concerns, sudden travel, and internal panic makes this situation uniquely volatile. The stakes are not just professional, they are personal. Jungkook's physical and emotional health, Jin's visible distress, and the looming pressure of a global brand event form a triad of tension that cannot be ignored. As the hours unfold, the world watches. Will Jungkook appear at the Calvin Klein event? Will there be any acknowledgement of his condition? And most importantly, will someone step forward to ensure that his health is prioritized over performance? The next few hours will be critical. Every movement, every statement, or lack thereof, will shape the narrative. For now, the questions remain unanswered. But one thing is clear. This is not just a story about fashion, fame, or fandom. It's a story about responsibility, transparency, and the fragile line between ambition and well-being. And as Jungkook's plane crosses international borders, the silence behind it grows louder. And what will it take for HYB to finally confront the reality behind the image? This is not just a story about a celebrity outburst. It is a story about accountability, about transparency, about the fragile line between performance and personhood. Jin crossed that line. And in doing so, he may have changed everything. And yet, the silence persists. Jin's absence from public platforms has become more than a pause. It feels like a deliberate withdrawal. The man who once stood at the forefront of BTS's global diplomacy now appears to be retreating from the very stage that defined him. Is this a temporary measure to recover from the emotional toll, or is it a strategic move orchestrated behind closed doors? The ambiguity is suffocating, and fans are left to interpret fragments, rumors, and coded gestures. Meanwhile, HYB's machinery continues to operate, releasing content, promoting other artists, and maintaining the illusion